extremely low taxes, total laissez-faire, and perhaps the one big government thing I'd be guilty of is a school voucher program. And even that I began to really start questioning over the past couple of months and years. But yeah, I would definitely, that would probably be my ideal. I just want government to provide basic libertarian needs and so on. Pretty much the Ron Paul, Gary Johnson world.
That sounds pretty interesting. You see, like, it really stretches the imagination what you can do with it. And that's kind of the great thing about it.
I mean, the whole beauty to this is you can build a seastead to get whatever kind of government you want. If you want to live in a society which requires people to wear all their clothes backwards, you could. If you want to live in a society where there are no laws at all, where it's all out anarchy, you can. If you want to live in a society where everything you'll be told to do by a monkey, you can do that if you think that's right and you want to invest yourself into it, thinking it'll help you.
So if there's a market for it, it will it will exist.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, if 1,000 people, in fact, I'll be doing an internship in San Francisco soon. I'll be doing an internship in San Francisco soon, and I'm actually going to be in charge of a project building this new thing on the Seasteading Institute website for people to for people to put their ideal governments on. So we can get people literally saying, if like 1,000 people were to say, I want this kind of government, we can literally build something to cater their needs. And an entrepreneur, well, we won't build it, but an entrepreneur will. And we can provide that information to them.
And, going back to your ideal seastead, what happens if I made my seastead and you had yours, and I decided maybe I'm going to attack your seastead? How would you go about dealing with my...
I have no idea why you'd want to do that. I mean, really,
gain more land from you about building it.
Well, I would just think this. I would just think the seastead. If I was totally conquered, I'd get everybody out and I'd go down to my ship and I'd salute you off, sinking it. So you just wasted a lot of time right there. I mean, if seasteads were to engage in large. If seasteads were to engage in unnecessary behavior, which I doubt they would do, they would just be shut down. Because why? Because a lot of people would be saying that this didn't benefit me. A lot of their customers would say this war was not benefiting me at all. Why should I do that? So that's my general feeling right there. It just wouldn't please the customers. So that's my opinions on that.
Yeah, a bunch of people aren't going to want to move to a seastead that's spending all their money on war that could be put elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, does McDonald's go to Burger King and try to poison their burgers? No, they just no. I mean, they'll explain why their product's better, and they'll make their product better.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at politics. Yeah, I mean, if you look at politics as a whole, you'll see that it's the only area that has intense attack ads, people invading their other offices, trying to get dirt on individuals running the company, and it has nothing to do with the actual product they're selling. So it's pointless, and I think this is a far better solution to all of this.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things, because I'm like, what would you do in a certain situation? But wouldn't you think maybe the smart idea maybe would start up like maybe a militia or a private militia, private security firm on the seastead, and something should happen?
I'm sure that'll happen. I don't know if that'll happen right away. That's up to the people at Blue Sea to decide, really. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be some private militia, some defense force there. I don't think it'll be a huge issue, but I'm sure it will happen.
Okay. And just a couple more things here. And talking more about, all of the construction of the whole, all of these seasteads. And it's that since only I guess a select few have come up with that idea, what is it like? Do you guys have like the copyright of the idea, patent of the idea, that if somebody can't basically make up their own, seriously, like from scratch, like if I had $10 million on the side right now, I would basically
not
use
at
your
all.
idea, build it, and I would have to like pay something to, like dues or something to you? And there's a special term, honors or something.
I would like to see the agency we'd be using to enforce intellectual property on a seastead. No, not at all. In fact, the Seasteading Institute wants people to be, first off, the Seasteading Institute not associated with Blue Sea. We're not associated with any private project to build a seastead. We're just there for the science. But as for this idea of we would be angry with someone building another seastead, if they could build a communist seastead, as long as the people came there voluntarily, I'd be happy, because that just expands the technology and makes this a more generally accepted idea. So it's good for us if they do that. So I would be very happy if someone were to compete with us.
Yeah, competition makes the world go round, and quality of everything getting better.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, if you look at everything except for the public education system, you'll notice that the one thing in society that's increased in cost, barely increased in quality, and is public education. So there we go.
Well, Mark, you've been staying on the line here. Do you have any other questions for him while he's on?
No, not really questions, but I just think looking at this, we learn from history. But history takes a while with all these gigantic countries having all these little seasteads, which are effectively little experiments. It's a great way to find which way is the best, way for people to live, to find the ideal society for people. And, the ideal society will prosper, and, people will be prosperous around the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a pretty good idea. What can we I'll say about this wonderful thing? But again, like you listed out there, Charles, a negative or two about taxation and possibly tariffs. Would that be the only? Well, I know there are other obstacles, but is there anything else troubling about this idea that may come up in the future, such as taxation?
The only bad thing that could happen to seasteading, besides governments trying to tax us, is if the governments actually got better, and the chances of that happen are pretty unlikely.
Mhm. Yeah. And you guys can basically make it sound like you said. Send a box of chocolates. Say, yeah, good. Shove it where your light don't shine. Just that's it. Yeah. But I guess we're pretty much done here. But let me ask you this before you go. And is there any other events that the Seasteading Institute is coming up for the future, again, like for all of viewers and listeners to know about any events in the future that you guys may have coming up?
Yeah, well, actually, if anyone's in Los Angeles, I'm actually going to be speaking at the Extreme Futurist Fest in December. But there are events all the time. What the Seasteading Institute does. The best way to do it, I would say, is just follow us on Twitter. Either friend me or just friend me, add me on Facebook, Charles Perallo, Peralo. And also the Seasteading Institute website is probably the best way to do it all, just because they'll keep you. Sign up to our email sheet, and you'll be given an email, not very often, but fairly often, on what's coming up in the world of the floating cities.
Yeah. Well, sounds great. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this great information and this wonderful idea with us, Charles. It was wonderful.
Good to have you.
Yeah, really nice talking to you guys. So great, and hopefully next time I do an interview with you guys, I'll be on the sea.